Hello, friends. So, welcome to another session of my topics on AI. So, today we'll be looking at AI versus software tester. And the big question is AI going to take software tester job because it can do some testing? AI is not going to replace software tester. Like I said, the short answer is no. AI will change what the tester jobs looks like. And this is why it's very important for testers to start embracing AI, incorporating AI into their day-to-day testing activities, learning different tools on how AI can make our work more efficient, smarter, and helps us save time. All right. So we'll be looking at what AI can do, what AI, or let me say what AI already does, exceptionally well in software testing. So we're picking one after the other, and it's important as testers we start looking, diving into this area and see how we can also absorb and integrate them into our day-to-day testing activities. All right. So what AI can do well, the first one is drafting test ideas. So with AI, you can generate, for example, Gherkin scenarios in few seconds. It can help you generate Cypress, Playwright code, or even unit test in seconds. So we have, typical tools that you can use for this. Example is ChatGPT, GitHub Copilot, and Test Team, Smart Locators. All these tools can help you draft, your test script or ideas in few seconds. A real world example is paste a user story into ChatGPT and receive five, ask it to, give you like 5 edge cases for login tests and, with complete assertion. Especially for, automation testers, we can leverage on ChatGPT to improve our test cases, our test scenarios in few seconds. All right, next. So the next is self-healing UI locators. This is another tool, an AI tool that helps detect when button IDs change and auto update selectors for you. It helps cut flakiness without human babysitting. This is very good tool for automation testers. Imagine the time you spend on when a locator changes, you have to go manually find a new locator, copy it, paste it into your code. But with tools like testing and many other tools out there, it can help you automate this flow, detect when button IDs change, and auto update such selectors for you. All right. So the next we'll be looking at is RIX-based test selection tools. Machine learning can help predict which of your 10 to 20% tests are more likely to fail based on code difference. Pulling this from historical data. This is RIX-based test selection, and we have tools that can also help achieve this, like what's it called, Azure Test Impact. You can also use there's what we call Launchable, LightGBM, XGBoost. All these tools can help you achieve it. A real life example is let's look at a 5,000 case suite runs only just about 500 iRIX texts per PR. Dropping feedback loop from like initial feedback loop of like say 6 hours to just maybe 30 minutes. Isn't that amazing? So moving on, what can AI do? The fourth one we'll be looking at is visual and layout regression. So this is where computer vision comes into play. Helps compares screenshots or DOMs render trace, flags when there's a pixel shift, probably like a clip text or dark mode misshapes. All this can be caught using computer vision, and we have tools too that can help achieve this. Tools like Applitools, Passy, Playwright plus Pixel Match. All this can help you achieve it. So a real life example is for example, there's a defect misalignments in our checkout button, after a CSS tweak. Tools like this can help you detect these changes, and flag it immediately. All right, moving on is log and error clustering. All right, so this is an NLP, model where it helps, group identical or similar stack traces from our logs, reducing duplicate noise into just a single actionable defect. And we have tools that can help us achieve it, like the Elastic, AI Hops, Sparsy, plus the HDB scan. We also have the Honeycomb and Boo Hop. All these tools can help us achieve this. So the sixth we are looking at is anomaly detection in prod. So let's look at a scenario where you have unsupervised model learn normal latency error patterns and alerts when there's an API drift. And we have tools that can also help achieve this, tools like Datadog, Watchdog, Prometheus. These are tools that can help achieve this. So a real life example could be when there's isolation forest pings, when there's an isolation forest, it pings QA, probably maybe when the payment has like a 95% latency spike, stuff like this, you get a real-time alert. So the seventh on the list is synthetic test data generation. So what this does, it creates thousands of realistic but fake data like names, card, and as well as edge cases, dates, and keeping them out of QA environment. So we have tools like Mocaro, Synthesize, Faker, ChatGPT, CSV generator prompts. All these can help us achieve this. Example is you generate 10,000 French phone numbers plus accents to test Unicode handling. Imagine doing this without an AI tool, how it's going to take time. All right, moving on. Okay, requirements and spec analysis. So where we have LLMS review, PRDs, or probably Jira tickets, this tool helps us find missing acceptance criteria, or even helps us improve our acceptance criteria, thinking of other edge cases we could have missed, or probably contradictory rules between our AC and the PRD document. And we have tools like ChatGPT 4, Cloud Documents Q&A, and we have DeepBlue, and and a few other on the internet. So look at an example where GPT highlights that password must be 12 character in the UX docs, contradicts 8 character in the backend specs. Some of these we can miss as human, but with tools like GPT, it helps us find these missing requirements. Number 9 on the list. The next on the list is auto-prioritizing defects. So we have machine learning models that can rank new bugs by probably impact or likelihood, so that, for example, when you start a meeting, it can easily list out the hottest issues. And we have tools too that can help us achieve this, like the custom XGBoost. We have the TensorFlow models, trained on historical severity versus fixed time. Let's give an example here. So imagine it could predict, a crash in payment service file, like coding file, where block release escalates to P1 automatically. So it does all this, for us. Moving on. So next is accessibility insights. So what this helps us achieve is so look like it's a combination of CV and NLP, whereby it can scan pages for contracts, area label gaps, keyboard trap risks, and so on. And we also have tools that can help us achieve this, like the DQ, Hacks Cognitive. We have Google Lighthouse, AI, Harley, and so many other tools like that. So let's look at an example where reports that a model's dismiss icon lacks an error label, failing the WCAG 2.8. So all this, put together makes this tool amazing for software testers. 11, security prompt, injection test. So with this, you can auto generate, malicious input for LLM endpoints, XSL, SQLi, and auto bypass attempts. And we have tools that can also help us achieve this, like the OAMC RS plus AI Fuzas. We have LLM Auto, Red Team by OpenAI. All these tools and many others out there, can help us achieve this. An example is you generate, 50 prompt injection payload against a ChatGPT powered, chat widget, and flag those that leak system, prompts. Isn't this amazing? Yeah. So moving on, let's look at why these capabilities matters for software tester. The first on the list is faster feedback. So ML guided test selection and self-healing keeps pipeline short and green, just like we explained earlier. Second is deeper coverage. Visual AI and log NLP catches classes of bugs human really spot early. And thirdly, better use of human time. AI drafts, groups, prioritize. Testers spend time thinking, not copy pasting. All right. So what still needs the human tester? So we've talked about what AI can do well, and it's time for us to also talk about what still needs, human tester. So the first one is exploratory curiosity. And this is where noticing that a sign-up form is confusing even when it passes specs. This is looking at it from the end user's perspective. Next is domain empathy. Being able to understand customer solutions and as well as subtle business rules. AI hasn't been tested on this, so this still requires human intervention, where domain knowledge is key. Understanding the customer, the solution, and as well as business rules, how it affects both the customers and the business. Now, next is ethical and accessibility checks. Being able to spot biases, patterns, or color contrast issues in ways data system can. So the fourth is storytelling and risk communication, that is turning raw defects into persuasive narrative that influences product direction. This still requires human intervention even more. And finally, edge cases design, inventing scenarios with no historical data captures. Example is, what if the payment gateway returns 202 but never completes? These are where human thinking comes into play. Okay, so let's look at job evolution and not elimination. So it's important for testers to know that AI is evolving, and what that means is our job also needs to evolve, but AI is not here to eliminate testers. All right, so for example, yesterday we can sit down to write 300 similar Selenium scripts, but tomorrow you just need to prompt an LML to generate the first draft, then refine high-risk parts. Yesterday too, before AI, we do manual checks of pixel alignments, but tomorrow all you just need to do is allow a CV2 flag visual defects, and you decide which matters. Yesterday, before AI, we sift through 1,000 logs line, but tomorrow with AI, using NLP clustering, you save time on deeper exploratory testing. And finally, yesterday we measured test coverage by raw count, but tomorrow with introduction of AI, we can measure coverage by risk reduction and user impact. Okay. So how to future-proof your testing career? Like I said, if you don't want to get outdated, if you don't want to be left behind, it's important we stay current. It's important we update ourselves, learn AI tools. So how to future-proof your testing career? One is learn to drive AI tools. Start integrating AI into your daily testing. Use tools like Playwright, CodeGen, ChatGPT, and the likes. Two, deepen your domain expertise. AI can't replicate contextual insights. It still requires human intervention. 3, hone exploratory testing technique. This is one area many testers has ignored or don't really pay much attention to. Or this is not the time where we need testers that can explore better and bring in better techniques into the exploratory testing. So pair machine speed with human curiosity. 4th is Embrace data literacy. Yeah, you need to understand ML outputs, precision, recall, bias, and all. So embrace data literacy. Data is everything, my brother, my sister. And next is champion quality culture. Use AI metrics to influence products and UX, not just pipeline. So it doesn't stop at test case creation, automation. Use it to influence product and user experience. All right, thank you for watching.